Well, guys, we have a ton of drama with Elon, with Tesla stock, and big drama surrounding SOFI stock too. I mean, it's like chaos is reigning out there everywhere, and it's causing your stocks to take a beating as a result. So let's talk about all that today and kind of separate fact from fiction with all this stuff, because that's exactly what we need to do during situations and times like this. Just make sure you like the video if you like getting the truth without the hype. And don't forget my new channel on financial freedom and retiring early is the pinned comment down there if you want information on that. That's all that I talk about over there. So drama number one is Elon. Look, I understand the frustration. It seems like it never ends with Elon, and I agree. He self-inflicts a lot of this on himself, but this time it was not his fault at all. So this is not something I can blame on Elon or everything else. Now, of course, we can talk about what he tweeted about ahead of time and some other things like that. But in regards to the situation right now going on with his pay and his pay being basically just nullified altogether, that has absolutely nothing to do with Elon himself. Now, yes, I was surprised by the ruling. Normally it doesn't matter. Wall Street just kind of gets what they want, and CEOs just kind of get what they want overall. So it was definitely surprising to me whenever I heard he didn't get it. But once I started kind of digging into the actual details of everything and kind of pieced it together with some other things that have been going on over the past really 3 or 4 years now, it kind of started to make just a little bit of sense here, guys. So just kind of follow me all the way to the end here. Now, I personally didn't have a problem with it. I didn't care. It just, those type things, just, I don't know, CEO pay is kind of a ridiculous thing to begin with. So it's not necessarily something I was worried about at all. However, I can say that this pay package was the most ridiculous in the history of pay packages for publicly traded companies. And obviously the lawyers, on, Tesla side didn't even try to argue that, because there's no way you can argue it. And just kind of for context here, Tim Cook makes $49 million a year total. That's his entire compensation package to run the biggest market cap company in the world. Obviously, that pales in comparison and is just paltry compared to what Elon was paid. So that's kind of the route that they took there. Whether we agree with it or not is not necessarily relevant to this argument. And a lot of other things that I kind of heard online also kind of gave me a lot of pause for cause in regards to this particular issue, because YouTube and the media were just utterly ridiculous around this entire thing altogether. I mean, wild conspiracy theories. I don't know. It was just... everything that was sent to me initially in my group there was just kind of like, what the heck are people talking about? Like, this is so far off base. This is so far, not just speculation. This is way off in conspiracy land that it just didn't make a lot of sense at all. So obviously, to be a good investor, you got to stay far, far away from stuff like that. Although I didn't agree with the ruling at all, and I did not, I cannot say that CEO pay has not been under fire for the past few years, because it's been under major fire from legislators, from lawmakers, to activist investors, to basically everyone has been under fire for CEO pay. And when you look at the Magnificent Seven, which includes Tesla there, some of those CEOs took 20 to 40% pay reductions over the past couple of years to kind of get ahead of this whole situation, kind of get ahead of this whole compensation thing, and to kind of quell that concern down a little bit. And obviously, Elon and Tesla chose to go a different tactic. Not only did they have the biggest pay package of the group by far and away, it's kind of like Elon's here, everybody else is here. They chose to go to court for it, as opposed to just adjusting it kind of ahead of time. And unfortunately, they lost. That was exactly what these other CEOs were trying to avoid and trying to keep their name out of the news. And we know Elon likes to keep his name in the news. That's okay. It's part of Elon. It's part of the ride, right? And no, being a founder doesn't matter, nor does anything else like that for a publicly traded company. Once you get there, all CEO pay has to align with certain laws, certain rules, and it opens itself up to court scrutiny if it's brought to court in this particular manner. So this is all just, it doesn't have anything to do with anything else other than this is part of being a publicly traded company CEO. But after kind of unraveling this and kind of getting through it all, and like I said, we can disagree on whether that, like I said, I disagree with the ruling personally myself. As a shareholder of Tesla, I disagree with the ruling myself, even though I kind of understand where some of the parts of it came from in regards to the lawsuit itself. I still disagree with it. But what really, really got everybody up was all the speculation and all the other, whatever you want to call it, around Elon just leaving Tesla now because, hey, his pay package got denied by a judge, so therefore he's going to leave Tesla. And that to me, again, made absolutely no sense. And it was just unnecessary drama being pumped out there by YouTube and the media and everybody else, because the big question is why would Elon leave? And there's several components to this. Whenever I'm thinking about this from a logical standpoint, one, it's not like the board said, hey, we're going to nullify your whole pay package. It was a court that did it, not Tesla's board. Now it's up to Tesla's board to kind of negotiate a pay deal there in order to kind of keep him happy. But it's not like it was the board that did this and now it's a battle between Elon and the board. It's not. That's the first piece. The second piece is it's not like Elon can just go to a different place and have the same capital resources, the same access to talent, the same access to everything that he currently has with Tesla. That's the other big thing that just makes me think he's not going anywhere. So you kind of got two components there. One, I don't know where else, even if his pay gets cut in half, there's nobody else offering him. I mean, look, Tim Cook makes 49 million a year. Elon's, even if it gets cut in half, what, $27.5 billion? That's way. I mean, Tim Cook, his entire earnings, his entire career at Apple may not add to that, much less what Elon's going to get from Tesla, even if it's cut in half. So from a money standpoint, it's not even close. Nobody can pay him near what he's going to get paid at Tesla, regardless of what happens after all this fallout. So that's the first piece. And the second piece is access to talent and capital, which they have in spades there at Tesla, which is not like there's just a bunch of genius engineers just hanging around everywhere who are just going to jump from ship to ship to ship to ship. At some point in time, you run out of genius engineers for all the different companies that he has and that he owns out there. And so it becomes a much harder thing to do the further and further and further you dilute yourself out there. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense from a business standpoint, nor from a personal standpoint for him to leave. Now, could I be wrong? Sure, absolutely. Nobody knows in the end. It's pure speculation. But if I'm having to guess, and that's exactly what I'm doing is guessing, I don't see any logical reason for him to leave at this time just because a judge in, Delaware says you can't have your pay, you guys need to figure it out and come to a number that everybody agrees upon. It just makes zero sense. And drama number two is the reaction to SOFI. Obviously, we saw SOFI had great earnings, great guidance. There was nothing but positivity all the way around. I didn't see a bad number in there. Couldn't find one. I asked my group members, hey, if you guys saw something you kind of didn't like, let me know. Nobody let me know anything. None of us could find anything negative in regards to that. But of course, it's Wall Street, and that's exactly what they do. They find something negative. Now, on the flip side of that, especially if you watch my earnings preview, I kind of thought, hey, we may get a Palantir style beatdown. Not only because that's kind of what they did the last time a retail favorite got profitable and, obviously beat it way back down to $7 again before it finally took off and, people kind of get behind it, but also because SOFI had a great run into earnings. It was a really, really nice run. And just generally speaking, it's not 100% or anything else like that, but generally speaking, when you have a great run into earnings, there's a good chance Wall Street's going to pump you up right after earnings and then just dump and dump and dump and dump. They did the same exact thing to Palantir. You got a nice bump up after they announced the price profitability. And then it was just nothing but down almost all the way into the next earnings call before we finally started seeing an uptrend back up. So far, SOFI is acting exactly like a lot of stocks in this exact scenario act like. The only real question to have is how low is it going to go, which nobody knows the answer to that. Absolutely nobody, not even the guys on Wall Street. So it's just speculation. You're just guessing, and there's no reason to actually try to play those sorts of games. But the only thing I'll say about that is if you love them before earnings, you should absolutely be in love with them after earnings, and you should be loving what Wall Street's doing to them right now. But the drama kept coming for SOFI with the bank downgrades that have started, and I would not be surprised at all if we see a few more downgrades as it goes. Now, you guys know, if you've been with the channel for any length of time, I could care less about what analysts think or do. They are being told what to do. They're being told what to downgrade or upgrade to. And 99.9% of the time, they're simply chasing the trade, chasing the momentum, setting up for other trades that the banks have on, and all these other things like that. It's all that is going on there. It has absolutely zero to do with any actual analysis on SOFI stock itself and the company itself. So I don't care that the banks are downgrading them. I don't think there's something nefarious going on either. It's just Wall Street being Wall Street. And this is to our advantage as long-term buy and hold investors because we get chances at great stocks at great prices. And that's just simply how it works. If we don't play their game, we're not playing the trading games with them. We're buying the long-term hold investing game. And so right now we're getting more opportunity than SOFI than we really should, given that earnings. If Wall Street did exactly what they should do, we would not be getting this opportunity right now with a great company like SOFI that just continues to crush it and push it out of the park. So how do you deal with all this chaos around your stocks? Well, I'm going to give you a surefire way, just 3 simple steps for you to absolutely not only navigate this, but make a lot of money coming out of this and take advantage of it more importantly. Because otherwise, if you don't do these things, and I'm telling you guys right now, if you don't do these things, you're going to screw yourself. And then you're going to blame Wall Street, or you're going to blame a YouTuber, or you're going to blame Kramer or whoever. Nope. In the end, you're screwing yourself if you aren't doing these 3 things at a minimum when these type situations pop up with your stocks and there's a ton of drama. Number 1, do the work so you know exactly what you own. I know exactly what I own with Tesla. I know exactly what I own for SOFI. I know exactly where that company is. I know exactly the opportunity in front of me, and I know exactly what earnings has told me is going on with these stocks more importantly. If you don't know your companies intimately to that point to where you just know everything that's going on, you understand every single number that they put out. If you don't know it that intimately, you're going to question your investments when drama comes up. And trust me, guys, every single company has drama. That's just a fact of life in the stock market. And especially with growth stocks, the more growth potential they have, the more drama is going to come along with it. So if you don't understand what you own and you've not done your due diligence properly or enough due diligence, then you're going to question your investment every single time you have drama. Lack of due diligence equals doubts anytime the stock price goes down. I have seen that repeatedly, and that is the formula that holds true, especially for us here as retail investors, and especially with everything else that goes on around a lot of our stocks. And by the way, I know that's true even in my life today because it happens to me as well. When I buy a stock that's outside my circle of competence, which I did a couple of years ago, it was a swing trade. I actually made money on the swing trade. But boy, was it ever not the most comfortable swing trade I've ever made. I was definitely uncomfortable. I was definitely unsure, and it just did not make for a good investment, even though I made money. Number two, assess the impact on the business. What exactly is the impact to the business itself with the drama that's going on? So let's take SoFi, for example. What exactly is the impact to SoFi's business because an analyst downgraded the stock? What's the impact there? To me, I mean, are they all of a sudden going to grow revenues less because an analyst downgraded them? I mean, is Tesla going to miss deliveries now because Elon's pay package got, struck down and now he's got to create a new pay package? I don't really think that has anything to do with the number of cars that Tesla's going to deliver over the next quarter or so. What does it mean to the business itself? And the same exact question you can ask with the stock price. What does, SoFi's stock going down? Let's say Wall Street beats it down to $6. Wow, that's pretty far from now, but boy, that's a big beatdown. But you tell me, what does that have to do with their EPS number next quarter? That stock price. I don't think it really has any bearing on how much profits the company is going to bring in. So you've got to assess what the impact is with the drama, regardless of whether it's stock price, regardless of whether it's analyst downgrades or any other stuff that's going on out there. You have to assess the impact on the actual business. That right there is what you have to assess. If it actually impacts the business, now you got something, you may need to look at it a little bit deeper, a little bit further. But if it doesn't impact the business, you need to move right on along because it doesn't matter. It doesn't have anything to do with the business itself. And number three, ignore all the noise. The worst thing anybody can do when something like this pops up is go seeking opinions and headlines and other things like that, looking for answers to these questions because you're asking for an opinion that is simply meant to get clicks, get likes, get engagement, do all these other things, create emotions. Those are all what is out there whenever you talk about being a content creator of any kind, regardless of whether it's TV, YouTube, Instagram, whatever the case is. Every single one of the playbooks says create emotions, create drama, create controversy, create all these other things, turn little things into, mountains into, molehills into mountains and stuff like that. Do all those other things in order to engage your audience because that's how you grow an audience. Trust me, when you don't do this, and you just simply look at something that really is no big deal and who freaking cares, like an analyst downgrade, and you basically just kind of shrug your shoulders and go, no big deal, and move on. That's how you end up with a channel that takes 4 freaking years to get to 100,000 subscribers in a space where guys get 100,000 subscribers in 4 months. Took me 4 years. That's why, because that's not the way I do things. I'm not going to just create fake drama out of nowhere on things that aren't dramatic in the first place. And that's simply because you guys as my audience, and this is important and a key here, you guys as my audience, the biggest struggle that retail investors have is panic, right? Emotions, essentially panic selling, and then obviously FOMO buying. And the old adage of retail always buys high and sells low repeats itself repeatedly. I've seen it repeatedly over my journey over the past 4 years. Again, I used to live in my own bubble before then with investing, so I didn't have any pulse on what retail was doing. But I see it repeatedly now over and over and over again. And it simply happens because people are not ignoring the noise. When you ignore the noise, not even let it enter in your brain. Don't even let it get there. And that's okay. If that means, hey, you can't watch my channel too, I totally understand that. Totally understand that. If that is better for your investing, that's absolutely what you should do. But when you do that, you are going to make better assessments, better judgments, better investing decisions. And more importantly, you're going to take advantage when opportunity is there. We've had some massive opportunities over the past couple of years, and we will have massive opportunities in the future. So you do these 3 things and you're going to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. And if you want to see when I buy things in real time, or see my real-time reactions to stuff like this drama right here going on today, or see my watch list complete with price targets, take 5 courses for free, use our stock analyzer tool for free, be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8-figure Discord out there, and so much more coming, guys. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Make sure you check out the pinned comment down there and see if a membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.